Let's talk about that deep, nagging pain in your buttock, or that sharp pain that can shoot right down your leg. Everyone is so quick to call it sciatica, but what if the real cause is something else entirely? Something most of us have never even heard of. All right, let's get into what might really be going on.
So you've got this pain, right? And the very first place your mind goes, and probably your doctor's mind too, is your back. It just makes sense. But what if that common assumption is actually sending you on a wild goose chase?
Yeah, whenever you bring up sciatic-type pain, the spotlight immediately swings over to the spine. It's the #1 suspect, and, for good reason. A lot of nerve problems do start there. But, and this is a big but, it is not the only place they can start.
So when you get a diagnosis, it often points to one of two classic issues. You've got spinal stenosis, that's just a fancy way of saying the tunnel your nerves travel through is getting narrower. Or you've got degenerative disc disease, where those little cushions between your vertebrae are wearing out. It's really easy to see why these are the first things everyone looks for.
Okay, check this out. On the left, you've got a nice, healthy spinal canal. See how much room those nerves have? But then look at the image on the right. That's spinal stenosis. You can see how that space starts to shrink, and it doesn't take much imagination to see how that could put the squeeze on your nerves. This is exactly why we always blame the spine.
And here's the other usual suspect, your discs. A healthy disc is plump. It's a good shock absorber. But a degenerated one, it can get thin, it can bulge out, and start poking at all the nerves nearby. So yeah, with problems like these, it's really no surprise that the spine gets all the attention.
So we've looked at the usual suspects. And honestly, they make a pretty strong case. But this is where our little investigation takes a huge turn, and we start looking somewhere you probably never expected.
And this right here, this is the question that changes absolutely everything. What if you've been so focused on your spine, but the actual root of the problem is hiding somewhere else completely?
And here it is. Everybody meet the piriformis muscle. It's a small but mighty muscle buried deep in your buttock that most people have no idea even exists. And here's the kicker. Its location is everything. It sits right over the top of your main sciatic nerve. This little muscle can be a huge troublemaker.
So how can this one tiny muscle create such a world of hurt? Well, it all boils down to a thing called Piriformis Syndrome. And honestly, it's pretty much exactly what it sounds like, a muscular trap for your body's biggest nerve.
So what exactly is Piriformis Syndrome? It's what happens when that piriformis muscle decides to spasm and tense up. And when it does, you get a nasty 1-2 punch. First, you get the pain right there in your butt from the muscle itself, but then it can start to squeeze and irritate that massive sciatic nerve running right underneath it. That's what triggers those shooting pains, that numbness, that tingling, all the way down to your foot.
This quote really just says it all, doesn't it? It's a surprisingly simple mechanical issue. A muscle spasms, gets tight, and it literally traps the nerve right next to it. It's not a disc problem or a bone problem, it's a muscle problem.
So let's just walk through this chain reaction. It all kicks off with a spasm in that piriformis muscle. Maybe you sat for too long or tried a new exercise. That spasm makes the muscle tighten up, get hard. And because of its really unfortunate location, that tightness puts direct pressure on the sciatic nerve. And the result? That deep, radiating pain we've been talking about.
Okay, so why is this such a big deal? Why does knowing this matter so much? Because realizing your pain could be coming from a muscle, and not your spine, completely changes the game when it comes to finding relief.
Think about it. This means your pain might have nothing to do with a disc problem. And that simple fact opens up a whole new world of treatments, maybe targeted stretches and massage, instead of just focusing on your back. It gives you the power to go to your doctor and ask, hey, could this actually be my piriformis muscle? It's just a perfect reminder of how one little, often ignored muscle can cause such a massive problem.
So if you only remember one thing from all this, let it be this. That deep, nagging pain in your butt and down your leg, the one that screams sciatica, does not automatically mean you have a bad back. The real culprit could just be a tight muscle. Plain and simple. It's not always your spine. So the next time you or someone you know is dealing with that frustrating sciatic pain, just take a second, think beyond the usual suspects, the vertebrae and the discs, and ask yourself this question. Could the key to all this pain be hiding in a muscle you never even knew you had? It's a change in perspective that could truly make all the difference.